Tony Khan addressed CM Punk's firing on Collision. We've seen a shock return drafted to Monday Night Raw and another shock return on AEW Collision, so stay tuned. Tony Khan wasting no time addressing the elephant in the room, or out of the room now, opening Collision, making a statement about why he fired CM Punk, and also saying that he feared for his life at All In. What did he say, Andrew?
He said, "Today I terminated Phil Brooks, CM Punk, for cause. This stems from a backstage incident at AEW All In last Sunday. The incident was regrettable and it endangered people backstage. This includes the production staff, the people who help put the show on every week, innocent people who had nothing to do with it. I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years. I've been producing them on this network for nearly 4 years. Never in that time have I ever felt, until last Sunday, that my safety, my security, my life was in danger at a wrestling show. I don't think anybody should feel that way at work. I don't think that people I work with should feel that way, and I had to make a very difficult decision today."
I think it's a smart thing that he addressed it super early on. It was played obviously for the live crowd. In the prior to the show going on air, they were reportedly dueling CM Punk, Colt Cabana chants, people going back and forth. I would suggest that this will have lessened those chants. I think if he hadn't addressed it, if it hadn't been brought up early doors, then those would have been more prevalent throughout the show. So I think it's a good shout. Some concerning words there. My life was in danger at a wrestling show, saying he felt that he was concerned that his life was in danger. What do you make of that?
I think that's a huge deal. If he felt like his life was in danger, as he said there, he's been going to wrestling shows for years, and his life was in danger in that moment in time. Seems to me like it was a pretty big deal, whatever did happen backstage.
I mean, this is following the report from the Wrestling Observer that CM Punk lunged at Tony Khan. We don't know the full story. I'm sure we will hear even more sides of the story as the months go on, but it is a big claim to make. It is pretty concerning. Again, CCTV exists of this incident. There's cameras all over Wembley, and so this was very, very likely caught on CCTV. Will that ever see the light of day? Who knows? But there you go, CM Punk, once again, he's out of AEW. Off the back of this, it looks like the brand split, the soft brand split, it must be said, is ending. Andrew Zarian responding to somebody on Twitter saying, with CM Punk gone, what is the state of AEW Collision? Sorry, who's the star of AEW Collision? Not who you can build in time, who can draw some kind of number right away. Andrew Zarian responding, WBD was told late this week that the soft roster split would be ending, meaning we will see a lot more crossover between the brands. Obviously, we saw the Young Bucks there at Collision last night. So, yeah, I will say that I really hope. One thing I've loved about Collision is the way it feels really, really different to Dynamite. So I hope we don't lose that with the departure of CM Punk. I hope it doesn't just become another Dynamite.
I agree. I hope sort of like how Rampage kind of turned into sort of the spillover from Dynamite and things like that. I hope that doesn't happen with Collision. I think there's a great way there to be able to showcase so many different talent because that roster is so big at this point. You can have your Miros, your House of Blacks, like all these other talent that might not get enough screen time on Dynamite, be able to flourish on this other show, which is like the roster split. I guess obviously now we can have a little bit more crossover and these things can sort of cross over. At the same time, I kind of almost like the idea of the brand split because then people are sort of guaranteed a bit more time.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? I think there are pros and cons. And I totally agree with you in that it does give performers more time with that brand split. However, I think it was daft in the first place that it had to exist.
Yeah.
But actually, it created some pretty compelling TV
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Will CM Punk be going to WWE? We got a little bit of insight here. Sean Ross Sapp saying on Twitter, there's always a chance, but there are a lot of top people on the roster in WWE that don't want him there. He's still got heat with some of the top players within WWE. Time will tell on that one. I have no idea.
I don't know.
It's a very much like a never say never thing, isn't it? In wrestling, you don't want to make these guesses and end up eating your hat.
No.
So I don't know.
I don't never say never, but I guess with everything that sort of happened recently, maybe that's enough for them to maybe not go ahead and have him on the roster. I don't know.
Possibly. CM Punk doesn't need it. He's a millionaire already.
He's a millionaire. He's a merch seller.
Yeah, he's got plenty of other projects that he can crack on with. And best of luck to him, whatever he chooses to do next. Yeah. We saw a shock return, didn't we, on tonight's WWE Premium Live event, Payback.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Main Event Jey Uso coming back. And I love the way that they did this.
Well, we were talking like beforehand as well, before we even went on stream. We were like, how did they bring Jey back and make it feel like a big deal as well, rather than just like, I mean, it kind of happened here in terms of like he's just gone away and then he's come back. But how do you make it feel like much more of a bigger deal? And this was absolutely the way to do it, I think. Totally. I think now he has an absolute chance to really flourish and shine and live up to that sort of main event Jey Uso thing away from the bloodline at this point.
Totally. Making his return on the Grayson Waller effect, introduced by none other than Cody Rhodes. Great way to do it. Lots of people watching on pay-per-view. And then it was quickly announced that Jey would be heading over to Monday Night Raw. Will he get back to that main event level, Andrew?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's the man to dethrone Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins still World Heavyweight Champion, losing to Shinsuke Nakamura. And I think it's got to be Jay's got to be the one to beat Seth now. Just a couple of baby faces going at it, back and forth.
I agree.
And Jey is triumphant, and we talked about this on stream as well, but it's a really nice thing to hold over Roman Reigns when you do get back to that story inevitably.
Yep.
Hey, Jay's got the win over Seth.
Yeah. And then if Jey still has the belt as well when Roman loses it, you've still got the thing of, well, Jay's also got a world title and Roman doesn't anymore. It writes itself. It really does write itself.
It does. And part of me would have liked to have seen Jey Uso disappear from WWE TV for a little bit longer. He's not been away for very long at all. He could have gone off, and not to bring CM Punk up again, but he could have done the CM Punk thing where he's popping up all over the shop.
Different places,
back in the day. But I think it was a really effective return, and I'm very excited to see what he does on Monday Night Raw. So best of luck to him as well. But we're not done with the returns. There's more. Goodness gracious me. In a surprise twist, Ricky Starks is now going to be facing a returning Bryan Danielson in a scrap match at All Out. So over the last few days, Stark had challenged Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to a strap match, stemming from the altercation on Collision several weeks ago. But Starks, after reiterating the challenge, to which Steamboat appeared and said, hey, there's a contract here, Ricky Starks versus the Dragon. Hey, it's not the Dragon, it's the American Dragon. Bryan Danielson making his return. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be an awesome match. First of all, I hope Bryan's all right. He's come back. He had a really nasty injury. It was initially reported as a fracture. Then the X-ray was revealed.
Worse.
And it was a bit worse than a fracture. Broke his forearm in that match with Kazuchika Okada at Forbidden Door. That was only back at the end of June.
And then there was reports that it looked as though Bryan was going to be back for October.
Yeah, so for Wrestle Dream.
We are at the start of September. That's a whole month just like cut out there, back into the ring.
A little bit scary.
Yeah.
I guess the good thing about a strap match is that smoke and mirrors a little bit.
Yeah.
You can be careful, and you can use that stipulation to your advantage to protect yourself and your health a little bit. That does worry me still. The other side of me as well, I wanted to see if Ricky Steamboat still got it.
Ricky Steamboat
when he had the match with Jericho, he had the first match with Jericho, then he came back, did the next match with Jericho. He was amazing.
It was great.
Was so good. And That's a fair bit of time ago now.
It is.
Honestly, he's still.
He's going to get involved, I imagine. Anyway, in some capacity, he's going to get involved.
The thing is, I know he can still go.
Yeah.
I know.
I think that's it for a lot of people. There was intrigue there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
To be like, oh, okay. No, I'm kind of looking forward to this because, yeah, as you were saying, the stuff you recall back in WWE was good.
Really good.
It was really good.
But it was a while ago.
It was.
Now.
That's true. That's true.
And hey, Bryan Danielson is a more than suitable replacement.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
Ricky Steamboat. That is it from us. You can check out what happened to catch all of the happenings from last night's Payback. Stay tuned later. We got WTF for Payback coming up, and then we're going to be doing it all over again. Well, we're not.
Well, we're not.
Tom
No,
and Fraser are going to be doing it
are.
all over again because it is, of course, the day of All Out. The drama will continue. No. Thank you very much for joining us for the stream. Do join Tom and Fraser for their stream tonight. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves.
Bye.